I do not know who this individual Aaron is, and it's not really important because we're not going to be talking about him as a person. We're going to be talking about his very interesting takes and opinions, which I have seen them echoed with a lot of shills, especially on websites like Reset Era. But these opinions are not usually founded anywhere else. So, as you can see on Twitter, for example, despite the fact that this post went viral, it's got a million views, it's a very unpopular opinion. It's the same on YouTube, it's the same on other gaming websites, right? It's just like a very particular niche of opinions that happen to be with people that are very pro-corporate oriented, let's put it like this. So, as you guys know, recently, in this year in particular, a lot of games have been broken on launch to the point where this is the absolute state of the gaming industry. And many people are upset because they spend their hard-earned money and they are entitled to a good product. But let's see the other side of the argument, right? Perhaps an unpopular opinion, and no shade meant to this team at all, says Aaron, but I really wish as an industry, we as an industry. You know, I really hate this expression. It should be like, we as people who post on Twitter should stop posting bad takes. How about that, Aaron? Do you like it when I talk on behalf of you? Because I also happen to use the same platform, right? We as people who post on Twitter should, right? Let's stop using things like that. Let's stop using these types of expressions and instead say, I think, I believe. Stop hiding behind the skirt of the crowd. Okay, the crowd is not there to protect you. It means that you are not comfortable with your opinions, so you have to hide behind the we. It means that you do not have a position of authority but wish you did, so you hide behind the we. We as an industry, we should stop apologizing profusely for mediocre launches and slip dates. It's not even mediocre launches, like, the games aren't working, like, they are so bad that the corporate PR team thinks that they need to apologize to the public. Like, we're not talking about a game that is a little bit wobbly at launch, you know, it has like a couple of bugs, but it's fine, you know. No, we're talking about games that are unplayable sometimes. To the point where, again, like, the PR arm of the corporation thinks that they need to post the black and white thing. We need to stop perpetuating this notion that gaming companies are the servants of gamers. But without gamers, you do not have the company, right? Like, the whole thing is that they are posting a product for people to buy. Without the people buying, you do not have the company. I mean, this is literally what happened to Forspoken. They posted a game that was so atrociously bad that it destroyed the corporation. Anyone that knows anything about the history of gaming knows that this almost never happens. And this is like the absolute state of gaming in this particular year. Like, they hire people that are this incompetent, this incapable, that literally do not belong in the industry, that when they are creating products, they are so out of touch and so unfunctional that they're bad. You know, like, we're not talking about a bridge which has a couple of chips and the paint isn't placed correctly. No, we're talking about the bridge that collapses. This is reputation ruining stuff. This is business ruining stuff. People end up unemployed. People end up without a job because of this. Like, this is actual serious stuff that needs to be addressed. If I spend $50 on a dinner and it's mediocre, I don't expect a handwritten profuse apology from the chef, especially if I have the option of just asking for my money back. Even if the idea of that meal was really exciting for me. Okay, first of all, almost every single restaurant that you go to, even the most cheapest ones, if they give you a meal that is bad, and we're not talking about mediocre, right? Because, like, again, like, you're downplaying the issues. These aren't mediocre lounges. These are atrocious lounges. Like, you're getting a meal that's burnt. You're getting a meal that's incredibly greasy when it's not supposed to be. You're getting a meal that's cold. Okay, when that happens at a restaurant, you're going to have the waiter come to your table and personally apologize. I do not know any restaurant that will call you an entitled consumer or that will say that somehow the problem is you. No. They will literally apologize for the situation. And if you go to an actual restaurant that respects itself And we're not even talking about the one-star Michelin restaurant here. We're talking about like a restaurant that's supposed to be within the higher up echelon, which a AAA gaming company pretends to be. You are going to get the chef. Like, the chef will literally come out of the kitchen in such a case. If it's a luxurious restaurant and they fucked up so badly with your food, you are going to get the chef coming out of the kitchen and apologize for you. I guarantee to you that if you get a burnt steak, Chef Gordon Ramsay himself is going to move his ass out of the kitchen and he's going to apologize to you. And after that, he's going to go back into the kitchen and he's most likely going to fire the person responsible for doing that. Because these restaurants actually care about their reputation. But anyway, right, so, regarding the fact that you can get your money back, I guarantee to you that the reason these companies are apologizing isn't that they genuinely feel they're sorry or anything. This is in order to prevent people from getting the refunds. This is to prevent people from getting upset and telling others not to buy the product because it's broken. The apology is shit. The apology is just the way the corporation can cover its ass. And they're like, oh, well, you know, we know about this and we're going to fix it. Please buy our game. Please don't refund, right? If you choose to refund the meal, you're hurting the restaurant far more than demanding an apology. Because at the end of the day, this is free. This costs money. So anyway, these are literal video games. Gamers have invested virtually nothing in them aside from the $30 to $60. Hey, Aaron, I don't know how wealthy you are. Like, I literally do not know the life of comfort and luxury that you're using, but for some people who live on minimum wage, or even people who live on a medium income in today's economy, $30 to $60 is actually a lot. Like, most people have a budget for entertainment, which is not that high. You know, especially working class people. They have like a finite amount and they will say, okay, so this month I can spend $200 for entertainment. And that includes going to the cinema, maybe buying a video game, right? Like, stuff like that. If you have like a budget of $200 for entertainment, $60 is actually a lot. And you expect that maybe the product should be functioning. Like, if it's not actually going to work optimally, like maybe it's actually going to function a little bit. But again, you are the type of individual that apparently has money to spend on $50 dinner. So you're never going to empathize or be able to place yourself in the shoes of a person that when they go to the supermarket, they actually need to have like a well-documented list of things that they can afford, and they have a strict budget, and while at the cashier, they look towards the exit in order to make a run for it if they don't happen to have the money to avoid the shame and embarrassment of having to talk with the lady. You just leave the product at the cashier and you make a run for it to escape embarrassment. Can we stop normalizing, again, the word we, right? Like, hey, Aaron, you do not represent anyone. You know, no one voted for you. No one elected you in a position of power. Just because you make a video game, big whoop. I make a video game too. Who gives a fuck? I do not get to speak for behalf of other YouTubers and other content creators just because I happen to do the same shit. If I start knitting a sock, I do not get to lecture grandma and say, hey, grandma, we as knitters, we should, you know, like, it's a little bit bizarre. Can we stop normalizing the idea that we have wronged people by making something disappointing? No, you're wronging your company. You're wronging the business that you are doing. That's the main problem. You're not wronging people because, yes, people can actually refund. And the reason that people give a shit is because most of these companies spend hundreds of millions of dollars on marketing in order to train people to give a shit. Right? Like, when you have, like, trailer after trailer and you have ads and you have, like, campaigns, they are designed to get the person to give a shit about the product. This is why they use IPs like Lord of the Rings rather than create their own game. Because they want people to be emotionally invested to buy their product. So when people find out that the product is broken, due to their emotional investment, they're going to be vocal and they're going to be upset. Right? And this is because of the marketing. They got them in that situation. And because people are upset, they want to offer feedback. Because at the end of the day, no one wants a bad game. Right? Like, the people who are the customers, they want the product to be working. They want a functional product. And they would be likely to play it. And they would want it. And so they're giving feedback and they're saying, hey, this is what you need to fix so I can play your shit. But until then, I'm getting a refund. Right? If they didn't care and they were apathetic, they wouldn't buy the game in the first place. So maybe we should start treating this like a business rather than a kindergarten. Right, like gaming doesn't exist in the ether. It costs money. You need to pay artists, you need to pay the developers, you need to pay the guys making the sound, you need to put food on people's table, because this is a way of living, right? So you need to get that money from someplace, and that place is the consumer. And you need to convince the consumer that you are worthy, that we deserve to be paid by them. Because otherwise, we starve, Aaron. We do not have food. Okay, we have to fire people. We have to go bankrupt. That's not a good thing. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, we will see you in the comment section. Take care.